Hello beauties, and welcome back to the Bumpy Bones Locksport channel. In this video, we're going to be reviewing the Dogleg Lockpicks by Greyhound, so let's go ahead and get started here. Now, I got these picks a couple months ago, and I've been using them quite a bit over the past couple months, and I actually think they're a really awesome lockpick. They are made by Southern Specialties and sold by Greyhound on his store. I'm going to have a link to them in the description of this video. And the design of them is actually really unique. What it is, it's a combination of the elephant trunks and the curved spoon by Southern Specialty. And they're made out of 301 faux hard stainless steel, I believe, which isn't my favorite steel. I like 301 high yield stainless steel. It's a bit stronger, but it's still a good steel. And one thing that I actually kind of noticed with this, I actually gave away my elephant trunk sets shortly after I got them because I just really did not like them. I actually just bought a new set of them so that I could give them another try and actually have a set for my video here. But what I didn't like about them was the fact that this is kind of like a notched gem. And what I was having a really hard time with them was getting enough height in them to get, like, if I had a high-low scenario, I didn't quite have the clearance on these in that scenario and all that. These solve that issue. Because what it does is it combines this curved spoon or gentle reach pick, which allows you to get in deeper when you're picking. So if we actually take a look at this, and let me zoom in here really quick. And let's go ahead and overlay. What we'll notice is that because of the notch, the dog leg is a little bit higher than the curved spoon. And that does actually make a bit of a difference when you're using it, and I'll talk about that in a little bit when we are picking locks open. The other thing I really love about the dog legs is the etching that's on here. You have the Greyhound logo on here, which I think is a really nice touch. You do have the thicknesses of the picks here, so you get the 16 thousandths, 20 thousandths, and the 25 thousandths. I actually kind of found it interesting he went with 16 thousandths because typically you have 15 thousandths, and even though there isn't much difference between 15 thousandths and 16 thousandths, that little bit of difference can actually have a big impact, especially when it comes to like the Master Lock Pro series, which I'll pick one open here and I'll talk about that when I pick that open. But I love the profile on this. The notch on it actually makes it really easy to identify where the pins are and prevent slipping. So really good design. I actually really like them and all that. The handles, I mean, it's a pretty typical welded popsicle style handle. It's the same as Covert Instruments or multi-pick. I didn't do my bowstring wrap on them yet just because I don't want to have that with the video. I want to show off the etching because my bowstring wrap does cover up the etching and all that, so I didn't want to do that right away. So let's go ahead and actually pick open a couple of locks here. So let me get some stuff out of the way here. And let's get our first lock here. And what we're going to do is I'm going to start with like this Master Lock number 3. And this is one of the problems I have with the dog legs. Now, no lockpick is perfect. No lockpick is going to meet every need when you're lockpicking. That's why you need to have a really good collection of lockpicks if you're pursuing this hobby or really getting serious in this hobby or sport. And one thing that I find is that because of the curve in that notch, If you use bottom of the keyway tension, you don't always have enough space in the lock to use this pick with. And so I found it actually a lot more difficult to pick open the master lock number 3 here, and I want to grab my 25 thousandths. Yep, all right. Because what happens is the deeper I go, I have a harder time getting under the pins if I'm using bottom of the keyway tension. It's still usable. I mean, you can see I got that lock open pretty well with it. But where it really kind of comes in is where you have a more restrictive keyway, like with the ABIS 7240 here. If I go to use this pick here, what's actually going to happen is because of this curve, when I go in deep, especially if I'm going for pin 6, actually what I can do is probably show it with my cutaway here. When I go to pin 6, what's going to happen is you're going to notice that I'm now kind of hitting this curve here, and I'm actually going to start pushing up on pin 1 here. And so I'm going to overset pin 1 quite a bit when I'm using this pick in this type of a lock and all that. So really where this lockpick comes in is when you're using top of the keyway tension. It's a wonderful lock when you're doing that. Or if you are, like say, in a scenario where you're holding the lock like this with the key pins down, and you're using a tensioner like this, and then I think in this scenario, you've got plenty of space in here and you can pick downwards and all that. It's actually a really nice pick. I haven't done any of that with this pick yet, but that is one thing that I did notice is that, in this style of picking, it's actually a really good pick. Alright, so let's actually pick open a American lock here. So let me grab my vise and let's get this lock open. Let's go ahead and throw this on here. I love this vise from Lockpicker's Bench. Alright, let me just change my focus so that we're up here a little bit. Alright, so I want to make sure that I've got my 20 thousandths because I like the 20 thousandths when I'm doing the American lock here. And let's go ahead and pick this guy open. Alright, so got some nice clicks on 4. Did overset 4 a little bit. 3. Alright, nice clicks on 2. Alright, 1, and it got a nice false set. And then 5, and we're open. So I mean, it's a really nice pick. One thing that I actually been using this a lot is when I encounter a lock where I'm having a hard time kind of judging my depth or where I am with it, I'll often grab this more now. In fact, when I was working with the ABIS C83 here, I think this is the 83. Yep, C83. I was actually starting to use this pick in this lock a bit in order to get it open. I ran into a little bit of an issue with sizing and all that, especially when I got deeper because, I got to pick off the warding here, and so I did run into that issue a little bit. But it was just enough space and the bidding's just right where it still works and all that. But I'll often grab this and I'll do it like with my Packlock 98 Pros here. I'll use this when I feel like I'm in trouble and I need to get a better feeling where I am in the lock and all that. And that's actually good. That's actually what I was using my Sparrow Monkey Paws here for when I was starting because these were notched flat hooks. And this is actually kind of taking the place of these now, which is actually kind of really cool. I really like that and all that. So let's go ahead and pick open another lock because what I want to do is I want to use all 3 of these and I haven't used the 16 thousandths yet. And let's actually pick open another master lock. I got a puck lock here. So this is the M736. So this is just like the 6271. This is a 5-pin rather than a 6-pin, but it is the same keyway. And let me get this in my vise here. Let me get that nice and tight. All right, and let's go ahead and pick this guy open. And for this one, I want to use this. Actually, I think I can get away because I'm not using the holder. Yep, I can get away with this guy. All right, so we got my 16,000s here. Let's go ahead and get this guy picked open. All right, so there's 5, 4. These guys always give me some trouble. I think I overset. Try that again. All right, so there's 5. All right, here's 3. Nice clicks on 3. I think I overset something again. That is one thing that I actually do notice with this pick is that it is actually a little bit easier to overset. If I'm having a hard time lifting the pin, this actually gives me some really good torque and lift capabilities. But it does mean that then I can overset the pins a little bit easier. All right, let's see here. There we go. All right, so we got that open. So actually this pick here really was instrumental in me getting these guys, getting these guys open and all that. So I actually really do like it. The one thing that I am noticing, the one thing that I did want to comment is, just that 16 thousandths. Typically what you have is you have, 15 thousandths or 0.4 millimeters. You got 20 thousandths or 0.5 millimeters, and then you have the 25 thousandths in the 0.6 millimeters. And so typically with these, what I find is if I use my 0.4 millimeters or the 15 thousandths here, I do see that, they're a bit easier to maneuver and lift in here. This pick here, you have just enough space here with little to no wiggle space on it. So it's like a perfect fit. Where when you have the 15 thousandths, you do have just a little bit more play in there, I noticed. But overall, I mean, a really great pick. I highly recommend them. If you're a beginning lockpicker, I definitely recommend getting them. I don't know. One thing that I noticed on Dogleg's, or not Dogleg, Greyhound's website was that he actually has another version of these, heavy Dogleg, and they're a thicker neck. And when I bought these, I was a little concerned about the thinness here, in terms of that bending. And I haven't had any issue with that when I was picking and all that. I'm not sure if I would get the heavy leg and the heavy dog legs because it's a thicker neck, and especially when you have a deep lock, when you start having to push this area into the lock, that pin 1, you're going to be pushing up on. So I'm not quite sure, especially if you're using bottom of the keyway tension. So I'm not sure if I'm going to go with a thicker one. I actually really think these are perfect the way they are. And let's actually pick open some handcuffs here, because that's the other thing that I kind of forgot about that I use this guy a lot for, are handcuffs. It's actually a really good handcuff lockpick. So let's go ahead and start with ASP. These are the yellow Pawl, so it's just the single Pawl version. So let's go ahead and throw these on, and I'm not going to double lock them. But it's really nice and easy. Actually, I don't want to use the 16 thousandths. Let's use our 20 thousandths. 16 thousandths is a little thin for handcuffs. The 20 thousandths is actually kind of a perfect width when it comes to picks for handcuffs and all that. So, nice and easy with these. Let's go ahead and grab the green Pawl version, which is our triple Pawl. So this, I have to get all three Pawls at the same time. And no problem with that. So super easy. Let's go ahead and grab, let's go with the Peerless. I think these are the 700Cs. These are also single Pawl. Missed it. There we go. A little bit more resistance. These are a bit of a stiffer latch on here, so getting the proper leverage can be a bit fun with those, but not too bad. Let's go ahead and do my THC 850s here. And these are triple Pawls. And with these, there's a bit of a trick because you have to get that center pawl really to get it. So let's go ahead. Normally with these, I need to use a ball pick, but I can use my dog leg here. It's a little bit tougher. I did this before the video. Am I going too deep? I think I'm going too deep. Alright, let's go with the 25 thousandths. Huh. Alright, so they're having a bit of a hard time with these ones here. I did it before. It's a little too thick. Let's go with the other side here. Trying to keep this in frame. These are rigid, so it's a little bit harder to get the leverage in. Alright. Oh, so they're not working well with these, so I might have to fall to my backup. And let me grab my backup pick here. There it is. Alright. See, with these, the ball picks make it really easy, and I'm actually having a harder... There we go. Yep, so they're having a bit of a hard time on the THCs. Again, I don't really use them that much on the THC here because they are a bit more of a challenge to pick. As you can see, even with this, I'm having a hard time. There we go. Alright. So those, a bit fun. Alright, let's do one more pair for redemption. Let's go with my, I can never pronounce these. They're the Clejuso, Clejuso number 13s. These are the 1-inch thick medium handcuffs. So the dog legs will work really well with these. And actually with these, I'm going to go ahead and double lock them. And let's take our 25 thousandths with this one. And let's get that double lock. There we go. I'm actually torquing this pretty good trying to get this double lock because I'm having a hard time finding it. I actually may. Let's go with our 20,000s again. Might be a little bit too thick. Come on. Nope. There we go. Matter of getting the proper angle. Alright, there we go. So not too bad. And actually, you know, I was cranking on this pretty heavy. And let's go ahead and see if we had any bending going on with that. So let's go ahead and go back up to a close view here. And let's line these guys up here. And, oh, they're roughly the same still. Let's go ahead and take a look at the 20,000ths one, because that I was cranking on pretty good. And yeah, it's still roughly the same. So that's actually really good because I was cranking on that pretty heavy. So yeah, I highly recommend these picks. They are a really good design, well done Greyhound. I actually am looking forward if you design more lock picks and all of that, seeing what you do. I hope everybody enjoyed this video. Do feel free to like and comment on my video and subscribe to my channel. And as always, I hope everyone has a beautiful day, and I will see you all later.